we are learning something new this week. Well, new-ish. You should have learned or had some type of introduction to it in 5th grade. But this week we are kind of moving away from least common multiple and greatest common factor. We're still using some of the same terminology, but this week we're focusing on multiplying multi-digit whole numbers and dividing multi-digit whole numbers. So today's lesson is just on multiplying multi-digit numbers. So those problems could be a 2 by 2, a 3 by 2, and even a 3 by 3. But before I move on, an important term that I want us to remember for this particular lesson is the word product. I will be using that word a lot in today's lesson, just so you can remember that product is the answer to a multiplication problem. And that's important to remember the definition of that, because you may have a question on a test at some point, either this year or at the end of this year, at some time in your life, where you hear, what is the product of 7 and 5? That just means they're asking for what is 7 times 5? Like, what is the answer to 7 times 5? So I'll be using that word a lot. Also, I am working on the guided practice slide, so if you want to pull that up with me, you can. It is on slides instead of Google Docs, because I think it will work a lot easier for y'all. You can print it off. I just suggest not printing off a slide per page, just because there's like 9 slides. So if you can kind of like do the grid thing where there's more than one slide on a page, okay? All right, let's get started. Our instructions say, complete each slide by solving the problems with the standard algorithm. That is what we're using to solve the multiplication and division problems. Fill in the boxes with the correct number to solve. Use the steps to solving to help you. And this will make more sense when we go to the next slide. I would ask any questions, but like none of you are here, so if you have a question, email me. All right, so we have 3 different problems. All of them are a 2-digit by a 2-digit multiplication problem. If you look over here on the side, I have a steps for solving tip for y'all. You will have this on every single slide on the guided practice and the independent practice for multiplying and dividing. The only thing is you will not have it on a test, so I suggest either memorizing this, writing it down, or printing the slide off and just cutting it out and saving it. All right, so our first step says, highlight/box the digit in the ones place value. So I like to do this because I know I'm the type of person, when I see too many numbers, my brain gets confused, like, bruh, my brain hurts. So I like to box the number I'm multiplying first. And we always multiply the number in the ones place of the second number first. That is always the first number we multiply by. If you are on the computer doing this, you can just highlight over it. I have made a video on how to highlight and answer the slide using the computer, so make sure you look at that. I think I put the link with the assignment. Right, back to this. So now I have made that 8 pop out. Now I'm going to multiply 22 by 8, okay? 2 times 8 is 16. So I'm going to put my 6, but just like with addition, when we have a 2-digit number as our answer, we're going to carry the number in our tens place. So I put my 6, carried my 1. Now I need to do 2 times 8. Again, 2 times 8 is 16, but I have this 1 at the top. Remember, you should have learned this, I think last year, yeah. When you have a number at the top with multiplying, you add it. So 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. So I put my 7. I don't have another number in 22, so I don't have to carry that 1, I'm just going to put it down. So 22 times 8 is 176. So did steps 1 and 2. Step 3 says to mark out / delete any numbers that were carried. So, and this is important so you don't accidentally add them again when you really don't need it. So I do highly suggest marking out the numbers that you've carried, because I've noticed in the past that a lot of kids leave it up there and they accidentally add it again the second time around. So we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to mark it out. I also, and it's not on the steps for solving, but I also like to mark out the number in the ones place so I don't accidentally multiply by it again either. So I like to mark it out to make my life a little bit easier. All right, so I did steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 4 is probably one of the most important steps. I'm going to circle it right here. Step 4 is so important because you can do all of this work right, but if you forget to do step 4, your entire answer is wrong. And that is frustrating. Especially, I know to y'all who did all the hard work and you find out, how is my answer wrong? And it's because you didn't put your 0 or your place value holder down here. So before you can move on to the next place value, you have to put a 0. That 0 is telling us that we are no longer multiplying by a number in the ones place, and that we have now moved on to multiplying a number in the tens place. So do not forget to put that 0. Now that I've put the 0, I'm going to box my 3, because I'm like, I need to focus on this number now, because this is the number I'm going to multiply by 22 now. Okay. 2 times 3 is 6. And then 2 times 3 is 6 again. I have no other numbers to multiply, so I'm done with the multiplying part, but I'm not done solving my final answer. I need to add both of these products together to get my final answer. 6 plus 0 is 6. 7 plus 6 is 13. Put my 3, carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 6 is 8. So our answer is 836. All right, moving on to the next problem. I have 14 times 75. Step number 1, I'm going to box or highlight the number in the ones place. Now I'm going to multiply 14 by 5. 4 times 5 is 20. I'll put my 0, carry my 2. 1 times 5 is 5. And then 5 plus 2 is 7. I don't have any other numbers at the top to multiply by 5, so I'm done multiplying by 5. Now I'm going to mark out the numbers I don't need anymore. I don't need this 2, and I also don't want to accidentally use that 5 again, so I'm also going to mark it out there. Next, I need to do step 4, which is, like, remember what I said, it's super important, like real important. So I need to put my 0 in the ones place to show that I am now moving on to the tens place value. So now I'm going to box my 7 and multiply 14 by 7. Make sure you always want to multiply that. You always want to do 7 by the number in the ones place. I know that 7's right here, so you may want to do 7 times 1, but we don't want to do that. We always want to start with the 4. Okay? So 7 times 4 is 28. I'll put my 8, carry my 2 over here. If you are doing this on the computer, you should have already erased or deleted that first 2. So it should be easy for you to put the other 2 in there. And then you do 1 times 7 is 7. And then 7 plus 2, because that's the 2 I carried, is 9. Now I'm going to add. 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 8 is 15. Put my 5. Carry my 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. I don't have a number over here, so I don't have to carry, so I'm just going to put down the 1 right there. So our answer is 1,050. All right, our next problem and our last problem with the 2-digit by a 2-digit is 57 times 90. So, first step is to box my 0. Because I want to remind my brain we're only multiplying by 0 right now and ignore the 9. So 7 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. I don't have any other numbers on the top, so I'm done multiplying by 0. That was so hard. How was that one difficult? Okay. All right, so now I'm going to mark out the numbers I don't need. I didn't carry anything, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I am going to mark out the 0, so I don't accidentally multiply by it again. All right, now I'm going to box my 9. So I can remind my brain, hey brain, I'm only multiplying by 9 now, not that 0. But before I can multiply, what do I need to do? Put my 0. So I'm going to put my place value holder, or that 0, in the ones place to show I am now moving on to a number in the tens place value. 9 times 7 is 63. So I'll put my 3, carry my 6. 9 times 5, I know that one, is 45, but I have to do 45 plus 6. Some people can do this in their brains. Others cannot. I am the other. So I'm going to, on this little area, do 45 plus 6. Now before I move on, this will be a really good time, if you are doing this on the computer, to get a clean scratch sheet of paper and a pencil, because the rest of the problems you may have to do some scratch work for. It will probably be easier if you did that by hand. Okay, moving on. All right, so now I'm going to add 5 plus 6 is 11. So I'll put my 1, carry the other one. 1 plus 4 is 5. So our answer is 51. I'm going to put my 1. I don't have another number at top, so I don't have to carry the 5. So the 5 is just going to come straight down. Now that I'm done multiplying, because I don't have any other numbers at the top or any other numbers at the bottom that need to be multiplied, I can now add the products that I have gotten from multiplying. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. 1 plus nothing is 1. And then just bring down the 5. So our answer is 5,130. And that is how we multiply a 2-digit by, my bad. I didn't mean for that to go away. A 2-digit by a 2-digit number. So now we're going to move on to a 3-digit number multiplied by a 2-digit number. But before we do that, I added a different part to our lesson that I feel like will help me and help you better understand kind of like where you are. So if you go to the next slide,